I just took down the Rhino. A pale guy in a suit doesn't sleep.
Hello and welcome. This is the first video that I'm basically ever making about anything, really, and putting it, like, out there on YouTube, you know? I mean, I have videos on my channel. Don't watch them, because there's only, like, a little bit of them, and they both suck. And I think the last one I tried to properly make, I made when I was, like, 13, so please, for the love of God, don't watch it. Enough yapping. You clicked on this video for a reason. To hear a grown adult talk about a Spider-Man costume. The people I know who are watching this video already know what's about to go down. They've heard this song and dance time and time again, and I'm pretty sure they have a loaded firearm ready to shut my mouth once and for all. But you people are fresh You people are fresh subjects. Therefore, we will be discussing the Night Monkey suit. Before I get chuds in my comments saying stuff like, we've seen this so many times, this is an original video. Well, you know what? You're right. Which is why I'm going to disintegrate you. How dare you talk to me like that? I know that videos like these are dime a dozen, and that most of them are even better quality than what I'm showing you right now. Even when they are being shoveled out at their peak, what really is there to talk about with this topic? Anymore, at least. It seems pretty clear-cut, right? Classic suit good. Night Monkey bad. Thing is, I don't really care. I'm making this video because I want to. If you're looking for something enlightening, I don't know, go read the Bible, I guess. I haven't even scripted any of this. I'm writing as I'm writing as I'm editing. That's how much I don't care. I think it's safe to say, after about 2 minutes of not talking about what I want to talk to you about, it's time we peel the skin off this rotten-ass banana. Starting off with... I don't know what to say about this suit's design that hasn't already been said. One thing I'll say is that for MCU Peter's first time wearing black, this is less than flattering to start with. I mean, again, what can I even say? It's generic tactical gear. I don't want to shit on the designers that worked on this. It's just that, to me, this looks like Spider-Man, but cosplayed by a 15-year-old who really, really likes airsoft and will probably really annoy you about, like, military facts and stories and all that stuff, but, you know, without realizing that you don't really give a shit.
You hear that?
Might want to lay off the weed, huh?
And you might want to gargle my ballsack.
And, like, even then, it still gets poopied on by all the MCU bullshit going on with it. You all know the meme, you know the pattern that the MCU loves to absolutely barf all over their costumes. I mean, for synergy, I'm guessing. So, it somehow manages to make its way into basic-ass tactical gear. The one thing people praise about this suit is that the mask is kinda cool. And I'm one of those people. I think it's neat that the eyes can pop out like goggles. I don't see much of a use for it, but it looks cool, I suppose. I don't like all the buckles and belts, specifically the ones on the biceps and his midsection. Like, I at this point, like, I'm going off script, I don't even know if they're, like, belt buckles or not, and it's like, I'm guessing they're belt buckles. And, like, again, they look like, rather than serving a purpose, they were put there just to busy my butt. So, I don't like all the belt buckles, specifically the ones on his, like, biceps and his midsection. I mean, those are kind of the only ones, actually. But they look like, rather than serving a purpose, they were put there just to busy the design and make it look more tactical. There are, like, 2 fucking pouches on the suit, in total, and they didn't think of using these belt buckles to store web cartridges or some shit. It also goes without saying that tactical gear on Spider-Man would severely hinder his movement, but, like, I can suspend my disbelief for that. I want to be fair in some corners of this deep dark void, because I do really like the original spider armor, and if you think about it realistically, that one looks like a bitch to move around in. In fact, I think it's probably just impossible, like, imagine. Okay, it's time to really let the floodgates of anger, vitriol, and shit open to this thing. we're gonna get into the lore of this suit. Which is honestly something that worries me when it comes to how people are gonna react to this. Because I haven't seen Far From Home in a long time, and since it's one of my least favorite Spider-Man movies, I'm not exactly keen to watch it again anytime soon. It's got its moments, like actual good suit, like the actual good suit he gets at the end, some nice character moments, but we're not here to talk about that shit. We're here to hate. There's a good reason I purposefully neglected to say something like, this suit doesn't look like Spider-Man. Because, to me, Spider-Man's biggest iconography isn't just his colors or patterns, it's his eyes. Take away the eyes and this stops looking like Spider-Man. Maybe something akin to him, but there's reason to believe that it's not him. So, you have to wonder, why the fuck S.H.I.E.L.D. would take, like, a look at Peter and go, hey, the public cannot know, they cannot know that Spider-Man is in Europe, dude. They can't know. So, take this disguise that we put your literal fucking eyes on. Let me clarify. This suit is meant to hide the fact that Spider-Man is in Europe. Peter isn't exempt from any what the hell? Peter isn't exempt from blame either. This motherfucker absolutely knew this, and yet still uses, like, webs and shit. Something that is very obviously tied to Spider-Man. But it's okay. Because they said that Night Monkey is a knockoff European Spider-Man. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear anything about he was fighting the elementals, he didn't know it was real, he needed his webs. I don't care, la 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 la. Stinky. When you design a Spider-Man costume, one thing you have to be sure of, if applicable, is a reason for it existing. Why would Spider-Man need a stealth suit? He needs to be stealthy. Why would Spider-Man need armor? He's up against a particularly troubling foe. Stuff like that. So when the reason is Spider-Man undercover, you obviously want the suit to resemble very little Spider-Man, if at all. Obviously. For example, Prodigy. Prodigy came about when Spider-Man got into some trouble, so it wasn't advisable that he be seen by the public. So to keep doing hero work, Peter made up a new identity and costume in Prodigy. You're probably wondering, well, what's so different between them? Well, for one, Prodigy isn't a Spider-Man costume, and that's the entire point. There is absolutely zero cosmetic hint that this is actually Spider-Man. Second, Peter wisely doesn't use his powers during his time as Prodigy. There's a fair argument to be said about the circumstances being different and all that. But like I said, la 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 la, I cannot hear you. I am not saying that Prodigy should have been a thing. Maybe they could have done it? Probably would have looked like a Thor costume more than anything, but it's obvious why this suit ended up the way it did. Marketing. Marvel wanted an alternate costume that could barely toe the line between unrecognizable while still looking like Spider-Man. What they ended up with is a boring, nonsensical suit specially engineered to be pasted on top of those shitty giant dolls made of plastic. How popular even were those toys, by the way? These suck ass. Even for a little kid. Half the time their legs didn't even move, like you couldn't do as much as sit them down, for God's sake. Look at Spider-Man! He looks awful! Look at my boy, where the fuck are those eyes? What the fuck? Why is the spider emblem so big? Thank you guys for sticking around until the end of the video like good little viewers. This was my first time ever actually making a video properly, like I said in the beginning. So you'll see a lot of, mistakes, but we'll call them features. Like at the beginning where my audio, I didn't know, or rather, I didn't fucking realize that I could just import audio into CapCut. So I recorded in CapCut, and then I realized, wait, I can just import the MP3s, and I did that. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. This is the end of it. Thank God. But, I do plan on making something else, whether or not this goes, whether or not this gets watched. I will make another video anyway. if this gets watched, if you guys have any, like, requests, put them in the comments. And if you don't, then, well, God knows I have plenty of worse things than the Night Monkey suit to talk about.